This is an example of some geometry with history on. So if I go into Object Edit, Query Edit, we can go and pick bits of geometry and see what the history says. So this is a symmetric fillet, for example, here. If I query edit this, you can see that's a monorail. This one, we've got a projection of this curve onto that surface, which is how we've got the symmetric fillet there. And this fillet here is just a straightforward surface fillet, and this particular surface is a draft surface. So pretty much everything's got some history on there. So if we want to look at that and change it in any way, we can go into History Visualiser, which is up here. And at the moment we've got all on there, so we can see everything. If I say picked, you'll see nothing appears, but if I then go and pick one of these objects, it comes up and highlights that as the thing we're looking at. Now on this object I can just double pick it and it will come up with the options much like it did in Query Edit. So you can see this one says G3 curvature, and what I want to do is create a G2 curvature fillet, or switch back between the two of them. So various options I want to look at. So I could go and change that in the menu there, of course, but what I can do is save that as a preset first of all. So if I go into this little, the three bars there, and I go presets, I'm going to say set preset directories. That's the first thing to do. So you can see there's a default directory there, but I want to create my own. So I'm going to go plus, and then I'm going to find an area that I want to put this in. So I'm going to put it into Alias here. I'm going to create a folder which I'm going to call History Presets, and we'll go into there and make that the folder. So that's the folder that I want to use here. So with symmetric fillet, if I right click on here, I can say create new preset. So I'm going to use the parameters that are in that fillet function there, and so this was a symmetric fillet. I'm giving it a suitable name, G3, and that's what I want to call it. So now if I go and double click on there and I change that to G2, you can see it updates, and now I can right click on there and say create a new preset. So I'll call it the same name, except I'm going to change that to G2. So if in the future I wanted to change that, I can just say assign preset. So and I can go and find the other one, G3, so it'll switch back to that one. So you can have a whole set of presets set up here. Likewise, if I wanted to go and pick this surface, which is a surface fillet, and we look at picked on here to see what goes on there, we can go and have a look at that in terms of the parameters. So I've got G2 curvature, chordal length of 10, so I'm going to save that as a preset. So let's create another preset. So this is I'll just call it fillet, just a standard fillet. It's G2, it's chordal, and it's 10 mil. So we call it that, and then we can create another one. So let's go and create another one. So we'll make that 5 mil, and then we'll create a new preset, and I'm going to call that chordal 5. And then for good measure, let's create another one which we'll call 20. We'll give it 20 chordal. So we can then go and create another preset, and we'll call that the same name again, but we'll call it 20 in there. So you can go and change those. So any time in the future I can just go and assign a new preset, any one of these pre-existing presets.